Hey everybody, welcome. Good evening. Britannia, hey, how are you? Nice to see you on this evening. Welcome. Hey Lens, I see you. London, hey, good evening. One of our faithful viewers, welcome. So guys, welcome to Ask Tashara Thursday, Season 3 finale. We made it to the end. Leanna, one of our favorite viewers, welcome. We're so excited to see your face, your beautiful face. I just asked guys if you would just do two things. Hit the heart button or the like button as you come in, and share the broadcast, if you will, so that we can up our viewers tonight. We're about to bring on our live poet, and he's amazing, he's dynamic, and I want as many people to be able to be exposed to him as possible, because we're so excited that he decided that our platform was worthy of his presence. So I'm just gonna do some inviting myself, so just give us about a minute, and we'll bring him on shortly, okay? Let's listen to some island vibes. Hey, welcome. All right. Okay. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get Lens on. Hey, you know that song? Go ahead, Leanna. All right, so let's go ahead and get Lens on. Come on in. Welcome. All right, Lens. All right, guys, give me 1 second. I don't know why it's not letting me add him. Let's see.
Oh, you're on the parts?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Lens, if you're still there, just do a wave for me. I don't see you. Lovely technology.
Oh, I see.
How y'all doing this evening?
Okay. You got extra pocket? No. It's not. I'm gonna take it. You want me to dress up? Oh.
Well, yeah, you didn't have to.
Oh, I see you to dress up. I was like, oh, shoot. That's bad.
Okay, so Lens, for some reason, it's not, hey Keisha, it's not letting me add you. Can you just make sure that your camera is, has Facebook access and that you're on your cell phone? I'm not sure why it's not letting us do it. This is your seat, Tyra, so you can come and have a seat. So guys, this is Tyra, the co-host for the evening.
Oh, Lord. Hi, everybody.
So it's gonna be fun. As soon as we can get Lens on, I don't want to skip out on his section. Twain, hey! I think this is your first time watching, so good evening and welcome, welcome, welcome. All right.
All
There
right.
we go. Hey, how you doing?
I am well. Are you?
I am doing awesome. Thank you. Well, thank you for joining.
Am I sideways?
You are.
All right. One second.
Oh.
Find a place to put it. All right.
Okay,
Hello,
perfect.
everyone.
So I'm gonna be cut off because you're on, but that's totally fine. So everybody, welcome. Put those hands together. Hit the heart buttons for Lens. I'm gonna let you go ahead and do an introduction, and then go ahead and do your thing.
Well,
Yeah.
hello, everyone. It is an honor to be here. Big fan of the show. I am here tonight. I am a poet and a performer. I do many events where I do spoken word. And I'll be doing a couple of them for you guys tonight. I have a book that came out earlier this year. It's called Rhyme Heals All Wounds. You could find it on Amazon. And if you ever are at a show where I'm performing, you could get it from me. It's a play on the common saying, time heals all wounds. So rhyme heals all wounds. So I'll be doing a couple poems from there today in regards to the topic of sex, drugs, and alcohol.
Yeah, it
And
is.
I'll go ahead and get started. The first one I'm gonna be doing is called Table for Two. And all right. It all started with a meeting of the eye, which led to a greeting with a hi, which led to beautiful name. Is it spelled with an E or an I? Which led to make sure it is saved and hit me up anytime. Which led to table for two and some flowers for you. Which led to a long walk with held hands and mental wedding bell plans. And I can't wait to tell friends. Which led to you look beautiful tonight in that turquoise dress. Which led to tonight was awesome. Let me walk you to your home address. Which led to I guess this is good night. And seeing the sadness in your green eyes. This led to will you be a gentleman and carry me to my queen size? Which led to slow jams and slow dance and roaming through romance and passing through passion and acing those actions that makes the sun hide its eyes beyond the horizon, which led to realizing tonight was perfect and we must do everything we can to preserve it. That is how I want to remember you and have you remember me. And further interactions may damage this beautiful memory. So let us end on a high before heartache comes without warning. Let us love through the night, and I'll be forever gone by the morning. So that was Table for Two.
Woo-hoo.
Uh, it's as beautiful of a poem about one night stand that you could find. um, let me do this next one. It's called Butterflies. Um, and I think a lot of people will relate to it. Um, a night of passion between mutual attractions changed her life in ways she could never have imagined. A moment of pleasure shook and shocked her beyond measure and blessed her with an unexpected treasure. Suddenly, there was more than just butterflies in her stomach. Feeling unprepared, fear fills her mind. She tells her parents through tear filled eyes, and they tell her she can't stay unless there's a wedding by Wednesday. But the future father remains farther. So her friends, they line up in a row to tell her to follow Roe. But her mind is made. She is swayed by Wade. So she continues to carry life in her womb and tries to carry love in her heart. But the world wants to tear her apart. She is viewed as a sinner by every eye that has seen her. Full belly, empty finger. She hears society's mutter how she is fit to be an unfit mother. She searches for a smile, but the world won't let her. They want the name of her child spelled with a scarlet letter. But many months later, she works to the labor, and then behold, she holds the daughter. The world tried to doubt her. And then, as she looks at her baby's eye, she found love like no other. That's when she realized, at the heart of the matter, the sorrows and the sorries that she suffered can't compare to the joys of being a mother.
Snap, snap, snap. Yes.
That one's dedicated to any single parent or anybody who's been raised by a single parent out there. Could be tough, especially from the judgmental eyes of the world. I don't have much more time. I'll do another short one related to the aspect of drug and alcohol and how it could be a soothing mechanism for a lot of people suffering. It's called mask. Every day he wears a mask. It's so convincing that no one asks. They don't see that lies lie within his smile, or knows he goes home and he cries denial. He lives in a lion's den of lies and denial, but he never lets his suffering surface. So no one knows he's lost his purpose. He's tried dealing with his aches by going to the gym to lift up weights, hoping those weights would lift him up, but that never worked out well enough. So he's still seeking something fulfilling. Now he eats past the point of a full filling because his dessert will never desert him, even when he's buried under burdens. Every day he wears a mask. And every night he grabs a flask and lets whiskey whisk him away. 80 proof, but never evidence of a better day. Sometimes he fights his battles with bottles, looking for some light in each pack of Bud Light. Sometimes heroin is his hero, whatever it takes to save him through the night. And when at last the evening has passed, he will be back to the task of wearing a mask. It's so convincing, they'll never ask. So that was mask. And that was the last one. And that's something a lot of people go through, wearing a mask to shield themselves, the true identity from the world. So I'm sure a lot of listeners will be able to relate to some of these poems. I hope you guys enjoyed. You guys could follow me on all sites, Rhyme and Shine, RHYMEANDSHINE. I'm also in the process of, promoting Rhyme and Shine Poetry Ministry, which I go around and perform at different various events and related to different causes like single motherhood and mental illness and everything. So if you need me, you could find me. Just add me on Facebook or follow me at Rhyme and Shine on Instagram well, that's pretty much it, or Snapchat. And yeah, great being here, you guys. And I look forward to watching the show.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your talent. You guys hit those hearts for Lens. I love his I just love your gift. I feel like you are you're not just the average poet. Like you just have a way with words where I just sit there in awe. Like my mouth is normally wide open anytime I hear a new piece. So thank you so much for joining us. And we'll talk soon.
Bye.
Alrighty. All right, guys. So thank you again for everybody that has joined us on season 3 finale of Ask Tashara Thursdays. I am Tashara, so I am the host, and this is my co-host for the evening, Tyra, a really, really good friend of mine. And so tonight, what I wanted to do is I wanted to switch up a little bit of how I provide content. For those of you guys that are faithful viewers, thank you so much. And you know that I believe heavily in content. It's not just about entertainment, but I want to also provide just good knowledge, right?
Right.
So we're gonna talk about three big topics,
yes,
if you will. That so everybody's doing it, so I wanted to just talk about it.
Yes.
So let your hair down. Don't unbutton your work shirt. Like we're gonna be real.
Relax. Yes.
Relax. We're gonna be real chill. Very transparent. Very honest. Disclaimer: if you have children around you, you might not want to listen to this when they're around. Because we're gonna be talking about some sensitive topics, like sex. So just big disclaimer. Okay, and so tonight is going to be game based. So we have 3 rounds that we're going to do, and you guys are more than welcome to interact. We hope that you do, especially for the first round, which is called our back to school round, as school's around the corner. So the questions in this round are multiple choice, true or false, fill in the blank, or short answer. If you've been in school at any point in your life, you're familiar with these kind of questions. So I will ask them to the group as well as to Tyra.
Yes.
And we will both, hey Sister Bev and Kevin, and we will both respond. So you ready?
Ready.
All right, y'all ready out there? Awesome. Question number 1. Your friends have been telling you to give dating apps a try. So you finally agree. The night has come for your first Tinder date. Your mystery man or woman, in this case man, sends you a message that they are on their way to your house, and you're super anxious. you A, take a shot, B, drink some wine, C, stay sober, D, wait for your date to come and then drink? What would you do?
I would definitely say stay sober because I want them to know the actual me, and then as time goes on, maybe some of the other options. But definitely stay sober so I can get that name.
And it's your first Tinder date, so you want to make sure you're on guard, right? You don't want to be wasted and then the dude is like, dude is like a killer or something.
Yes.
I like that answer. What about you guys out there? C, no question, but no Tinder. Stay sober. Kevin says D, he'll wait for the day to come and then drink. And it's interesting hearing the male perspective versus the female perspective. Anybody else out there? So the question is, your friends have been telling you to give dating apps a try. You finally agree and the night has come for your Tinder date to meet you, and they're on their way to your house and you are super anxious. Do you take a shot before they come, drink some wine, stay sober, or wait till they come and then drink? Twain says he's gonna wait till they come and then drink.
That's funny.
Ooh, Geisha says C, alcohol leads to other things.
Ooh, it does.
It does. Tinder date, question mark. Listen, apparently it's popping. That's
and they swiping.
and they swiping and they tapping, right? That's how it works. Some of y'all better not act like, because I could go on Tinder right now to see if y'all have active accounts.
They got a profile.
All right. If y'all still want to comment as you're coming in and out, please do so. But we're going to move on to question 2. All right. So you come home from college to surprise your parents.
Right.
And to your surprise, you walk in on them having sex. What would your response be? This is an open-ended question.
If I walk in, I open the door. I'm like, oh my God, ew, and I'll run away, and then eventually, like, hopefully my parent doesn't want to talk about it because it's just kind of gross. But at the end of the day, we're all human. I know they have to have their own special time or whatever, so I'm just hoping that does never happen to me. But that would be my natural reaction, like, ugh, and run out. Don't want to be seeing no parts.
What about you guys? Would you say something? Would you like shut the door real fast and run? Would you want to address it? That's an awkward thing, but it's something that happens. Like parents have sex, so it's like awkward.
Yeah, they're human.
What the heck y'all nasty selves doing? Close the door and walk out. Yes, it's funny because like I guess the lesson is don't surprise your parents. Like you might want to, hey, I'm coming over.
Right, send that message. I got 5 minutes.
Exactly. What else? That's an interesting one. I hope it hasn't happened. Has it happened to anybody? Does anybody want to? Should have stayed at the dorms.
Y'all want to share?
Close the door and let them finish. I would have so many questions.
That is funny.
Wow. Let me actually play some music in the background. Yeah, that is pretty funny. Any other comments on that one? That would be awkward. Give them the talk.
Hey, listen.
Give the parents the talk. That's funny.
The talk. That is.
Like, guys, you know this leads to children. I'll ruin it. As a younger girl, I never walked into my parents' room without knocking the door first. I'm not. Let's see. You might see it first on your phone.
Oh really? I just want to kind of. But every time I click it, it's like us, so I don't want to overpower.
Hold on a second, guys. Let's see.
See how? Okay.
And then okay.
Is that up to date now?
Mhm. Yep.
Okay, perfect. Yes.
Read Leanna's for me.
Leanna says, as a young girl, I never walked into my parents' room without knocking first, and I'm not going to set myself up.
Facts. Yeah, same. Ask them if they're practicing safe sex. Okay, so Zabby's being funny.
Is that so stupid?
Anybody got time?
Well, I guess parents should still be practicing safe sex.
Well, yeah, you kind of, especially if they're older and it's like they already have the eldest one is already aged out. You don't want to have another one and they have to start over.
Right.
And then, be an empty nester and start the whole process over again. So that's funny.
Having a sister or brother right now. What?
I'm trying to share your life. Wow. Hi, Auntie Marcia. Marcia. Okay. Next one is, you know somebody is on drugs when, fill in the blank.
Oh, this is a good one. You know
Somebody is strung out on drugs when.
If you personally know them and they're completely not themselves,
that's a good one.
I would definitely say that, like demeanor, dressing, face, just expressions, different things like that. Like things, if you know them really, really well, definitely one of your closest friends, to see them not being themselves 100%, then yes, something is going on.
That's a good one. Yeah. Definitely something, whether it's drugs, mental health, or something is definitely going on if they're not themselves. Anything else? You know somebody is on drugs when they're vacuuming the grass. Yes. When they talk too much or they talk too fast, like, wait, what's going on here? Like, slow it down, chill out for a little bit. If they're vacuuming the grass, they is on something real, real strong, and you might want to stay away. Yes.
What they said those places when it was eating people and whatnot.
Oh, what was that? The bath salts? Was
yeah,
that when people were like eating flesh? Like down the south, like back in Miami, yeah.
Crazy.
When they try to sell you weird products like hot dog water and use toothbrush. Yes. It's just awkward, like, but in their minds, it's like sensible.
Right, things that don't go together.
Hot dog water, like who would ever use that? Nobody even likes hot dog water. That's why you throw it away after you take the hot dogs out. That's good. You know somebody is on drugs when, fill in the blank.
Oh my goodness. Probably maybe they moving too much.
They jittery.
Can't sit down. It's all over the place.
Mm-hmm. They have a cookout and it just can't just be chill. Like, what's wrong with Uncle Craig? What you got going on?
Drugs again.
He on drugs again. You know somebody is on drugs when.
Yes.
Good. Thank you guys for your participation, and everybody. If I haven't personally greeted you, welcome. I can't see everyone, so if you say your name or say hi, then I'll be able to shout you out. And thanks again for watching. So next question is, and this is a shameless plug to Like New Mobile Detailing, which is in West Palm Beach, Florida. So if you're looking for some, if you're in South Florida and you need somebody to detail your car, that's a mobile detailing company. Yeah, the plug. So you just got your car freshly detailed with Like New Mobile Detailing and decide you want to make some extra cash for an upcoming trip. You turn on your Uber app and find your first ride slumped over a trash can at a local bar. You, A, take the ride. Remember, it's freshly detailed. So you, A, take the ride. B, cancel the ride before he notices you. C, check on him to see if he's okay. Then finish the ride. D, call 911 and skedaddle.
Well, me being the caring type, I would go and check on them and see if they're okay. And then if it's like out of my hands, then I would definitely call 911. So I wouldn't leave the person there. I wouldn't.
So if the guy was like coherent, he was just messed up from drinking too much, you would still take him? You would take the ride? And
I don't know about taking the ride,
especially
because I'm by myself. So, but I would just try to see if like someone could help them or possibly try to get the police. But I don't know about putting them in my car.
I like what Brandon says.
What did Brandon say?
Turn the app off and go the other way. Yes. And turn it on when you fart. Leave his mind right there. Not about to exactly. You're not about to mess up my whip.
Let's not talk about throwing up in whips.
Oh, somebody has personal experience. We're not gonna call John out. Hey, John. I'd say C. Stuff happens. So check on him, and then if he's okay, then finish the ride. D.
Right.
I don't play those type of games. That's how people get killed.
So well, yeah. Now with those new things with Uber, and they be saying sometimes.
True, but then that's any ride. So Geisha probably wouldn't drive. She probably wouldn't use Uber.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess that's true. What else? What do you guys think? Leanna, what would you say?
Never know in that moment, though.
It's true. But yeah, the biggest thing is your car just got detailed.
Zabby said, turn the whole phone off.
The social work in me would check in on him, but the non-social work would make me clear it.
Clear it.
Clear it. Yeah, Yeah, exactly.
That is hilarious.
Ride complete. Goodbye.
Out of there.
I don't know if anybody has ever driven for Uber, but there's a like if somebody has you waiting too long, like I think it's a 5-minute countdown, and then you get paid like a $5 cancel fee. I probably would do that. I'll just wait because he don't know I'm here. I didn't get my cash.
You don't go over the garbage.
Think about it, like you wasted gas to drive there. I'm not about to go home without my $5. Like,
right.
F what you heard. I'm getting my $5. Hey, Shoshana. Bingo. I live in Atlanta. I just wouldn't drive. I understand. Yeah, Atlanta is tough. It's a lot of stuff that goes on.
Leanna said, "No, it's hard to pass. Not my car, no ma'am."
Gotta go. He has to. It's downtown. It's at a bar. It's gonna be somebody else that pick him up.
Exactly.
Somebody else will pick him up. Awesome. Question number 5. Which of these 5 answers best describes your sex life? You ready?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm ready.
A, tragic. B, lit. C, explorative. D, non-existent. E, fertile. I'm going to give the answers one more time. Which of these 5 answers best? It may not be perfect, but it's the best out of the 5. Describe your sex life. Tragic, lit, explorative, non-existent, fertile.
I would say.
Don't get quiet, guys.
Explorative.
Okay. Explorative.
Yes. Maybe a little drips of lit.
Drips of lit?
Drips of lit. Definitely explorative.
Okay.
Parents, put the children away.
Put the children away. I warn them. I warn them. Especially those that can talk and inquisitive. Maybe the babies are okay.
And pick up on stuff.
But 2 and up, I think. Yeah. We have crickets. Let's see if anybody wants to share.
Come on, y'all. Don't be shy.
Don't be yakking shy. You know that song by Chris Brown? Like a Virgin Again, I think is the name of the song.
Yes. I know the song you're talking about.
This fool added a letter.
I added a letter.
John. Sensational future voice.
There's no F Jonathan.
See, it's the Caribbean in here. We make our own rules. Yeah.
Man, don't follow.
On the 2, Ata. Keisha says fertile myrtle over here. P.S. At least they all belong to the same man. Yeah, some people, that's why I put fertile there, because some of y'all literally get touched like this and boom, a child. Like, y'all just fertile. And for guys, if you that type of guy, you need to let women know before y'all get anything down. Like, we need to know if you're fertile, because everybody got time.
Close my ears.
Close my ears.
Here, trap.
Tiara says lit. Okay.
It should put the fire behind it.
Ooh. Ain't nobody's non-existent. Okay, cool. All right. Nobody's in that category. Okay.
I guess not. Everybody's doing pretty good again. Nothing wrong with that.
Nobody said tragic. They don't want.
That's good.
Let me see something real quick.
Unless people have like tragic experience.
Yeah, then that. Yeah.
And then we can count that factor.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, like people who say their first time was tragic. It's like, oh man, sorry to hear that.
What is this?
Yeah, it's like, all right. Number 6. You are at a Rough Riders reunion tour and DMX takes the stage. What drug is he possibly on? Opiates, cocaine, weed, all of them. A, opiates, B, cocaine, C, weed, D, all of them. DMX. Down for my dogs.
I know he be on drugs sometimes. But he's just a natural hype person.
So you would say E, none? You add your own category? What y'all think? All of the above?
I guess you could say that too, but we kind of make you calm. But he's too hyped for that, I think. So.
John said crack. No, like DMX be on everything, and it's funny because when I was preparing for tonight's show and I googled some stuff about him, he just had a charge earlier this year for almost everything. He was on opiates. I think he had cocaine, alcohol, and I don't know if it was I don't know if it was marijuana, but he had the other three, and I was like, poor
The
thing.
Lord finna be using him for something, cause he.
All of them with a little lean on the side. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. It is. He naturally on drugs. Like, poor thing. Y'all pray for DMX, y'all.
He needs it.
Most people said all of them. Yeah. Question number 6. If I had no positive coping skills and only had 3 options, I would solve my problems by. So this one is basically the best of 3 negatives, okay? So if I had 0 coping skills, and I had problems in my life, how would I solve my problems? A, being promiscuous so I can feel good and don't have to deal with it. B, utilizing drugs to calm me down and reach a level of ecstasy. Hey, Tonda. C, binge drinking to numb my pain. And I'm going to say it one more time. So if I have no coping skills and only had these 3 options, I would solve my problems by, and I hope that you be as honest as you can be on a public forum. A, being promiscuous so I can feel good and don't have to deal with it. B, utilizing drugs to calm me down and reach a level of ecstasy. Or C, binge drinking to numb my pain. Out of those 3, because it happens. People do these things. What would you choose, honestly, if you had those 3 choices?
I'm gonna go with C.
Binge
Binge
drinking
is such a harsh thing, but I guess I would say binge drinking because I know exactly what type of drink I like, what type of alcohol I like, and I know what my limit is. So I would take a coping method that I know I'm secure with. So I would say C.
Okay. So Shauna says B and C, utilizing drugs to calm me down and binge drinking. I would say A, to be honest. I think for me personally, out of the 3, I know drugs are literally damaging. It damages your entire life. So I wouldn't even want to play or double dabble in that. And I don't like the taste of alcohol. So I don't think that would really do well for me. I probably would try it once and be like, this is not my thing. So out of the 3, I think I would just have a lot of sex. If I had no coping skills and I just wanted to feel really good about myself, that's busted wide open.
She not.
This is not what I do, guys. I am a wholesome Christian. I'm saying if I had to do it.
It was a choice, guys.
It was a choice. We have a lot of people saying C. Oh, so Shauna says just C. Sorry. Zabby says binge drinking cremas. Does that count? Does it have alcohol in that? I don't know. What did John say?
Oh my God. He said, promiscuous girl, you teasing me, you know. Oh, he sang the lyrics from the song, girl.
Oh.
And then Zabby talking about how many bottles on her counter right now, Tyler.
Wow. Don't do drugs, Shauna. Bust it down.
Bust it down.
So none of y'all would just have a lot of sex? Y'all short out. Stay away from drugs. Don't do B. I guess C. Binge drinking, but then you can become you can black out from having too much alcohol. It's
That's
just
true too.
You can die, but we're gonna get into that later in regards to withdrawals. But I don't know. Rum. Okay.
Rum.
Round and round she go. Bust it wide open.
Y'all and these boys and these lyrics.
I hope y'all know y'all ABCs in here with all these lyrics from the 99 to 2000s. Awesome. Anybody else want to comment on that? Welcome everybody to my road dog. Welcome to the show.
Oh, I think I see Trina in there too.
Trina? Hey,
yes.
We litty.
Sister Trina.
We litty. We already shouted out new. Sex is a drug too, though. It is. Lesser of 2 evils or lesser of 3 evils. All of them are bad. So the idea is to talk about it. We're saying it in a more funny way or whatever the case is, but it's something that a lot of people do because of the lack of coping skills. So I just want to bring light to it. Like I said, just having real open conversation because it's happening. So we might as well talk about it.
Yes,
because it's happening.
Everyone's doing it.
So we might as well talk about it. Okay, awesome. Question number 7. You know you need drug or alcohol treatment when? Kevin, you stupid on that.
Well, that's kind of hard because, people can tell someone, hey, you need help.
Yeah.
Or, hey, you need this. Hey, you need that. But the person has to realize it for themselves. And I think maybe when you've hit rock bottom and you realize you've hit rock bottom and it's just you and God and it's just you in that room, I think at that point in moment you know that you need some help.
I would agree. Yeah, definitely. It's a personal thing. The question, the answer might be different for everyone. That's why it's a short answer question, because it's true. Sometimes I may want Tyra may want treatment for me as a friend, and like, yo, Tashara, you tripping. You really need to get into somebody's program, whether it's 28 days or 6 months or a longer residential program, or just go to AA or NA or some type of support group. And it's not until I have decided, truly decided to one, that I have a problem, and two, to get help.
Right.
So yeah. Geisha says, when you need drugs or alcohol to function properly in your everyday life. Yes. And on the Red Table Talk, they talked about that. So shout out to Jada Pinkett Smith. Her show kind of sparked this conversation. Tyra and I were talking about it off camera, and we decided we wanted to do this one because it's true. If you depend on marijuana, if you depend on alcohol, if you depend on opiates and pain pills to function,
right,
you might have a problem. You might want to seek help. See any comments there?
Let's see. When you need drugs or alcohol to function properly in your everyday life, you can't support your home because you're supporting your habits.
Yes.
Snap, snap, snap. Gems. When you take a drink in the morning, a drink before work, while at work, and getting blacked out after work or whatever, substance abuse, you should seek treatment. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Let me see what the other one says. You can't live without the substance, and it affects how you live in your life.
Yes.
When that person decides they need help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, acknowledgement, exactly right.
Exactly.
And then the last one I see is, my name is Terry, and on Fridays I am alcoholic, but I don't need help.
just on Friday. So you clear. That's not the qualifications of a substance abuse disorder. So you good.
That's his day. Right?
You're good, Terry. That's a lot of people's day. So good. I don't think I see any more comments on that one. Question number 8. You're driving home from church with your grandmother, who is the head usher, y'all. She is the head usher at Bedside Missionary Apostolic Ministry of the Latter-day Saints, the third. And a car pulls up beside you blasting Tank When We. The unedited version. The traffic light just turned red. What do you do? When We. I don't know if all y'all know When We. Tank song.
That's my jam.
It's my jam too. The unedited version, and your whole sanctified, blessed, anointed head of the usher board grandmother is sitting next to you, and When We starts to play. Let me go ahead and play that real quick. I don't know if Facebook's gonna let me do it, but because this, to me, that would be very awkward.
Very awkward.
That's Tyra's song.
I'm going to say.
So what would you do? The light is red. It just turned red, so you can't. Well, you can, I guess, but.
And we just left church.
You just left the service, and
I'm
grandma.
Listen here. I'm just gonna be honest. Sometimes when I leave church, I play secular music. So.
But grandma's there.
I know grandma's there. I'm just gonna say.
Grandma gonna need to say some prayers for everyone.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say, Grandma, this is my song, and then start singing. She just has to understand.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. What is doing that?
Is it playing?
Yeah. Brandon Andrews said, "Bust out singing and grinding." Hey, y'all is not.
Yeah, Grady, listen, this my jam. Listen, Grandma might like it though.
She might be on it too, low key. If it was my grandmother, I'm telling you, I would be cutting out that lane, making a right, taking a detour. We are not listening to that song. Like we are not having that conversation because it's gonna be awkward.
What is this?
Lord, my grandma is the head church mother in real life, and she would throw oil on me because I would legit have to finish the sentence. When we finish the sentence, bops oil in face.
That's hilarious.
So grandma was never on back in the day.
Hey, look at Zaddy.
You know she was okay.
Zaddy's so stupid.
I'm gonna sing it because I'm grown. That's right. That's right, Jackie. Sing it because Clarita said that song has gotten people in trouble. Every Take song has gotten people in trouble. Like, he does not care about nobody's life. Like, he's just so disrespectful.
Oh my God.
That is mad funny. So nobody would just try to skedaddle and get out of that situation. Everybody cool. That's what's up.
Chilling.
Y'all got some really good grandparents, because
You're right.
not happening. Tell me I can have it. He's quoting the lyrics. Oh my gosh.
The guys are hilarious.
They're
tonight.
funny tonight, yes. Okay, question number 9. Regarding alcohol, how much is too much?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would typically say, when you know you aren't functioning properly, and see, my experience with alcohol is going to be different with everyone else's experience with alcohol. Like I said earlier, I know particularly what I like to drink, and then I know probably by that third margarita, I'm like, okay, y'all, and my friends, when I start to be moving,
Oh my.
and stuff, they already know what time it is, and then that's, truly it for me. Some people don't really know what their limits are, and they kind of go too far, and then at that point, you gotta kind of step in for a friend. But I think just personally trying to know what your limit is very important.
Yeah.
So I can't really say what's too much for people. I know they say typically people average 2 to 3 drinks, maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
The question is, regarding alcohol, how much is too much? It does depend on tolerance. Brandon says it depends on tolerance. Zab says when you're loud whispering in his ear. Leanna says when the room is spinning. Very, very true. And I think that can go for anyone. For me personally, too much is when I get sleepy. Like, alcohol does not make me lit. It makes me want to go to night. So I know when I start feeling like I need to go lay down, I need to stop, because I'm getting to my limit.
Right.
When you fall asleep in the club, right? Which I'm trying not. I don't want to do. I heard that's how you get. Stuff happens. I'm not trying to fall asleep in the club.
I've seen people fall asleep like when everyone is playing games, still functioning, just right on the couch.
Yeah, or even like, how do you fall asleep in a club next to the speaker? I've seen that, and I'm like, what kind of deep? Like, no, you blacked out. That ain't sleep. Like, you're unconscious. Like, your brain is trying to figure out why is there so much going on right now.
Correct.
Hey, Rebecca. Never too much, never too much.
John Carter B style. Guys, cut it out.
Oh my gosh. Yes, to establishing your limit. Yeah, you have to establish your own limit. Because like Tyra said, what may be her limit for her is not a limit for me. And then let's get out of this whole thing about like dogging people or shaming people who have low tolerance. Like, their body size, their BMI, their weight, their height, how much alcohol they've had in their life, all of those things determine their tolerance, muscle tone, all of these things. So if you a dude and you a man's man, you're an alpha male, and you only can handle 1 drink, or shout out to Brian, one of our friends who only can do wine, we cool with you. We cool with you. It's okay.
Hey, that's his choice. That's his choice. That's what I said. So like, I guess it just depends on.
So Shauna says, "Would I black out?" Wait, what? I think there's a limit before then. Let's reestablish that.
Limit before.
Oh my gosh.
She said, oh, she black.
Oh my god, that's funny. So I'm gonna ask this last question, and then we're gonna go to another round, and then we'll bring it back.
Okay.
So the last question for right now for this round, for the back to school round, is define bad sex. Define bad sex.
Ooh.
And if it's too rated R, I will not read it, but you can post it.
I think that's also something that depends on the particular person, because I feel like women have their own particular needs and what works for them, and then men have their particular needs and what works for them, and each girl and male is different. So if you know what you like or you prefer, for me, for example, if that guy isn't doing it, then I'm like, okay, this is not working. Gotta get up, move out of here. So, and then I may feel like, okay, that experience was terrible. But thankfully, I've never had a bad experience. I've known others, friends who have told me it's a bad experience they may have had, but yeah, I think it just depends on like what your taste is, what your preference is, what you like. If you think person's a bad kisser, or you know, you prefer massages and they don't do that. Just, I guess it just depends on what you particularly like, and if that person isn't doing it, then you may consider them to be bad at sex, or if you haven't reached a certain level or whatever it is you need.
Okay, what are y'all thoughts out there? If you can't feel the climax in your feet, then it's not worth it. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Jonathan said no rhythm.
No rhythm. Okay.
This way.
Brandon Andrews said something.
Oh, what did he say? Oh, wait, hold on. Man, that ain't right.
Lack of connection and intimacy. Gotta have some chemistry and gotta be a good kisser. Okay. And this question to me is very interesting because I hear it often. I hear people say, like, they just will mention, like, oh, bad sex or something like that. But if I probe, I'm like, okay, well, what does that mean for you? They can't answer the question.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, a lot of times with these topics, drugs, alcohol, and sex, we have these things that we say, but we don't really know why we're saying it or whatever the case is. So, like, if you're one of those people that feel like, oh, someone was bad, a partner, if you have multiple partners and they were bad, just know why they're bad, because it may not be them, they may not be the issue, and what we don't want to do is project something to someone and then they be self-conscious and how they feel like they're bad.
Right, because they probably think they blew that back.
Exactly. And it's just something, it could be a communication thing. So you may like Tyra said, like, you may like something, they may not have done it, so you deem it bad, but it's not bad, it's just you didn't communicate what you liked. So, yeah. Shoshana says, bad sex is when the guy is short, jabbing the whole time. Oh.
Carry that last one. Wait. Oh, he said loose cat.
Ooh. But I never had that. But also a female that is like a couch.
Oh, and just lay
there. Okay, so you want somebody that's interactive just as much as you.
That's why I say it's like whatever you consider, works for you, then yeah, so someone's not participating.
Gotcha. And Geisha says boring sex is bad sex. You have to be just as crazy and freaky as me. Okay, so then with that, is communication involved for people who are maybe not in committed relationships but are sexually intimate or whatever the case is? Do you communicate that? Because, like, if I don't communicate that to Tom, right, then how am I going to be pleased and how is it going to be pleasurable for me if there's no communication?
Correct. And I think communication is key.
Shoshana is hilarious. Oh my god.
Just say go away, bye.
Just go ahead. Just bye. Pass up bag like what's the meme with LeBron when he's packing up his bag? The funniest thing ever. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
He's leaving the conference like, man, this is do better next time. Okay. All right. Cool. So we'll come back to some more questions, but I want to go to another round. So hey, Mashonda, welcome. So this round is called our rapid round. This round is going to focus on our co-host. So I will ask several questions about the topics drugs, sex, and alcohol, and the co-host must answer them with one word, y'all. Tyra, one word. That's it. But wait, it gets better. She only has 5 seconds to say what the word is before I move on to the next question. Can she do it? Let's go. Ready?
Okay. All right, let's see.
And you can't look at the questions.
I'm gonna try my best.
You can't look at the questions.
Okay.
And you guys can join too. And I'm gonna go a little fast, so if you're delayed, no problem. All right.
It has to be one word.
One word.
Okay.
All right. Tequila gets you.
Sexy. You said one word.
Designated drivers make the world
go around.
That was 2 words.
Around.
No, that's fine. Name one celebrity you would have a one-night stand with.
Michael B. Jordan.
True or false? A drunken man tells no tales.
True.
Pop the Malium.
Pop Malium.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Trojan or Magnum?
Trojan.
DARE stands for drug abuse. What education?
Oh Lord, I forgot. But okay. I know, guys.
Sex with me is
amazing.
Blank withdrawals, also known as delirium tremens, can kill you.
Is that true or false?
What withdrawals can kill people? Like alcohol, drugs, or sex?
Drugs?
Alcohol.
Oh.
I lost my virginity at
College.
Size
Matters.
My favorite drinking game is
gosh, I don't know.
5, 4, 3, 2,
whatever
1.
friends do.
Sleeping with friends can be
Terrible.
true or false. Getting tested before having sex with a new partner is important.
True.
If I had a problem with drugs, the first person I would tell would be
my boyfriend.
5. Jesus turned water into
wine.
Orgasms are blank important.
Very.
Blank drink and drive.
Don't.
Sex blank self-confidence.
Ups.
True or false? Sex burns calories.
Yes, true.
Beanie Man says, I'm drinking what in Red Bull?
Rum.
No means
no.
Good job. She did.
Oh my! I definitely know Dare. They taught us at school by curse.
It's resistance.
Oh.
And shout out to everybody in there that got it. Hey, we out
In
here.
the freaking song, I was like, trying to sing it like, damn, I got
Pop the
five.
Molly, I'm sweating.
Woo! And I was getting ready to say, ooh. Oh my God, that was hilarious.
Let's see what people say.
Was we going too fast for them answers?
That's what the little mate fellas. No, we're good. She likes short stabbers. Oh my gosh.
Wait, I can't see the. I can't see.
Leanna said Michael B. Jordan too. As
I had to think real fast.
Oh my gosh, that is funny. Good job. You did good. You did really good.
How far was I think mine stopped right now. I couldn't see. Oh, because it's not playing.
Come out of it and go back. Am I hey guys, am I frozen? I just want to make sure I'm not frozen.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, that look okay. I think we're good. Hey, go ADP. Can you guys see me and hear me? Okay. Nope, I'm not frozen.
John
Perfect.
tried to come for me.
Uh-oh. No, you did good. Good job. I'm trying to see if there's anybody else's funny comments that were really cool. Frisky. Okay. Cool. All right, so let's go back to let's do this because there's shorter questions and then we'll finish off with the back to school round. So this round is called Lifelines. Have you ever watched Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yes.
All right, so if so, you know how clutch lifelines are. This round is all about the lifelines. So players will choose one of 3 lifelines for advice on the scenario. So you guys can join and Tyra will be the live person that we would play with. So the 3 lifelines are phone a friend, ask Siri, or 3 wise men. And the 3 wise men option is literally just asking somebody that's an expert.
Okay.
It could be a parent, it could be a doctor, whoever it is. So phone a friend. Can you write that in the comments for me?
Okay.
Phone a friend, ask Siri, and 3 wise men. Perfect. Thanks guys for responding. Okay, so and there are 7 questions. Men. 3 wise men.
You putting it together? You putting it together?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So question number 1. And remember, you're going to use whoever you choose is going to be the one to give you advice on this scenario. So the first scenario is you meet someone new who you are considering having sex with, but are not sure if it's the right decision. You have never had the talk with your parents, but you are looking for some guidance. Which lifeline would you choose? Phone a friend, ask Siri, 3 wise men.
I would definitely phone a friend.
Phone a friend? All right. Question number 2. You're a college freshman and all of your friends on campus are talking about sex position, toys, do's and don'ts, and you are lost. Nobody knows you're a virgin, so you play cool. You get back to your dorm and you phone a friend, ask Siri, 3 wise men.
I would say figure it out. Because if you have really, really close friends, they shouldn't judge the fact that you don't know. So I would say phone a friend and ask.
Okay.
Siri might not know what you want. Siri might not know.
We making jokes, but some people really use Siri for everything, and it's like,
Yeah.
no, this is
I'd be
not
like, Siri,
appropriate.
how you spell?
Right, not like, oh, who should I have sex with today? Like, that's not something you should ask Siri.
I don't think so.
Question number 3. You and Bay take a trip to Colorado. Hey, John, what up? For a weekend and visit the dispensary. You have never smoked marijuana before and instantly feel a buzz. You think you're high, but Bay is chilling. You freak out and call phone a friend, ask Siri, 3 wise men.
I'm gonna go with phone a friend again.
Your friends is clutch.
Yeah.
Okay. Geisha says phone a friend. They are delivered former thoughts. Anyway.
That's a good
That's
one.
the best. Yeah, because they have experience. Question number 4. It's your 21st birthday and you are at the liquor store preparing for your party tonight. You walk in and are overwhelmed with the various types of alcohol sold. You have no clue what to buy, so you phone a friend, ask Siri, 3 wise men.
Okay. Maybe, can you repeat it one more time? The question one more time?
So it's your 21st birthday and you are at the liquor store. You are overwhelmed because you didn't realize that there were so many different types of alcohol. So,
okay.
You have no clue what to buy, so you phone a friend, ask Siri, or 3 wise men.
Phone a friend. This is my phone a friend.
Phone a friend. Okay. Being sexually active comes with health and wellness steps. You have some personal concerns about your body now that you're regularly active. So you...
For this question, 3 wise men.
3 wise men. 3 wise men. Okay. You are at a lounge with a few friends having some drinks. You have to run to the restroom and ask your friends to wash your drink for you. You return and realize your friends are all on the dance floor and your drink is left unattended. Which lifeline would you use for advice? Phone a friend, 3 wise men, or ask Siri. Who's gonna give you the best advice?
I'm gonna click phone a friend because there has to be one that hasn't gone out with me or that isn't on the floor. So
okay.
Yes, phone a friend.
And the last one to this round, the guy you have been crushing on sends you a DM on Instagram. So this is for my ladies. You guys arrange to meet up for a date and you tell all your girlfriends. They are happy for you, but they warn you to be careful because he has a reputation as a dog. The night arrives and you are not sure what his intentions are after dinner. Who or what do you do for advice? Ask Siri, phone a friend, 3 wise men.
I would say get back on the phone with friends so they done already warned you prior, and then I can talk to them and be like, hey friend, I think you're trying to get the box. I don't know.
Okay. Good. Let's see. Neither. Don't drink it either way. Yeah. If you leave you just gotta be careful because people spike.
Go get a new one.
Yeah. People spike drinks. Awesome. Well, that's the end of that round. And the goal for this round is to encourage effective use of resources and promote conversation with the right people. So we know a lot of times when we're talking about particularly sex, people will ask their peers, like if they're like their first time or they're in their younger 20s, early 20s. It's really beneficial and it's really best for us to ask those that are experts, those that know what they're talking about, an adult, a trusted adult. It doesn't have to be your parents. It could be a mentor. It could be your gynecologist. It can be your teacher, whoever you're comfortable with, maybe an older friend that you have that's an upperclassman at college, whatever the case is. But we want to make sure that we are asking the right people for the right advice. So that was what that round was for. And it's 9 o'clock, so if you have some time, we can finish the...
Yeah,
okay.
I'm good.
Somebody said ask Siri for the last one. Oh my gosh.
That is funny.
All right, so back to school round. In 2018, what does sex education entail for millennials?
I think Well, depending on where you are in life, either you're in college or out. I know if you are in college, there are courses that you can take on sex education. Um, that's really important. There's also like health department in different centers and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I know some organizations on campuses and off campuses provide workshops and educational things about sex. I think it's really important to know, how you're doing it, who you're doing it with, your status, quote unquote, and also your partner or partner to be status when thinking about having or sharing that intimate time. So I think sex education is very important for not just millennials, but any age group. And I know now the children are starting very, very early. So it's important, and then making sure also too that your parents do have the talk.
Or somebody, an adult, a grandparent, or aunt, somebody. Yeah, it's important. Okay. Any comments in that for that question? What does sex education entail for millennials or for people in general in 2018?
See what people. Don't be shy, guys. But yeah, I just think important. Like, even though you may think that you know stuff, I think it's also true, good to keep being educated on some things.
I agree. Leanna says the inclusion of LGBT stats in education, that's definitely approaching in their sex ed studies, and for good reason. I agree.
Very good.
It's funny, it's interesting that you said that, because again, when I was preparing for tonight, and at the end of the show, I have some resources that I'm going to provide, because one, I'm a social worker, and two, I just really believe in being resourceful, and tonight's discussion would be null and void if I don't provide you with some tangible things for people who may be struggling with alcohol addiction, drug addiction, or even addiction to sex, or just struggling with their own sexuality. But the Center for Disease Control, they actually have studies on LGBT sex education and sex stats. Like, I was surprised that is already an available resource, but they do. So it's definitely something that you see in 2018. Geisha says it needs to start with the depth description of diseases. It's real out here.
Very real. Very real. And the cases are popping up, and then just for culture-wise, it's bad. It's truly, truly bad.
Kind of a sub question. It's not on my list, but now that we're talking about it, what are you guys' thoughts on getting tested together with your boyfriend or girlfriend? So for me personally, I always said I'm not active right now. I'm abstaining. But once I start, once I'm committed or whatever the case is, he and I will go together and get tested. That's something that's very important to me. Not saying I wouldn't trust word of mouth or what he says, but it's just a trust thing. I feel like that's it's a level of intimacy kind of going together.
Right, taking that step.
Well, to try and need help. Taking that step. So what are you guys thoughts? Is it important to get tested before you have sex with someone, and do you just take their word for it and use protection and hope and pray something doesn't happen? What do you do?
I think it is important for you and your partner both to, or whoever you plan on having sex with, if it's going to be consistent, that either you've gone together, or if they have prior gone, that they're able to share those results with you, and you feel comfortable about where they are with their status. Because you have to know who you're laying down with, ladies and gentlemen.
And unfortunately, there are people out there, men and women, who will know that they have something and not disclose
and not share it, and that causes future issues and problems for people.
Jackie says that's an absolute must. Every 3 months. That's really good. You have to take care of your health. We can't be so lackadaisical because it's serious. And the person may not know they're exposed to something. If your mate works in healthcare, they could be exposed to somebody through blood. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're sleeping around with someone else. So it's better to be tested than not to be tested. And I know sometimes that brings anxiety to people.
Nervous.
They be nervous, and it's funny. I'll disclose when I was in undergrad, there was a basketball tournament that I participated in for HIV Awareness Week for an organization called Rules that I was involved in.
Right.
And so all of the e-board, we did testing on site, and I was abstaining. So I knew I didn't have anything, but just the fact that I was nervous, and I'm I should have no reason to be nervous, but I was mad nervous. So I get why people are nervous. Like, I get why it causes anxiety because of the unknown.
Right.
But it's best to just go ahead and get it done. For sure.
Just so you know.
You said it's a must. I've been exclusive with the same man for years, and we still get tested together. Yeah.
Oh, that's cute. Yes.
It's important. Good stuff, guys. Good. I'm glad to hear that. Okay, question number 12. What things can a woman look out for to assess if a guy will be a gentleman to her in bed?
Ooh.
What kind of behaviors can you kind of look for?
This is to me, it's kind of a tricky one because typically a person may say like, oh, he's polite and he has manners, so he's possibly would be a gentleman in bed. But then usually you may have like really nice people to you, and they could be polite in general, and then they could be like wild and crazy in the room.
Yeah.
You know, so it just kind of depends. But I think if you have that conversation with them about sex prior to, you can kind of pick up on their language and how they talk about certain things. Then you may be able to tell, oh, this person likes to, you know, take care of the woman and put the woman first. Then at that point you can assess whether you know, if they're gonna be a gentleman in the room or not. But just going off of like them being generally polite and stuff like that, that could just be like a cover up.
That's actually a good one, because I always heard like if he treats you, if he's a gentleman outside of sex, then you know that it's gonna translate. Like if he opens the door for you, or if he's just a gentleman holistically. But you're right, it can be a cover up, it can be a facade. So that's tough. Any advice, even for my guys out there? How does a woman know that she's gonna be taken care of once they hit that level in their relationship?
Yeah, guys. How do we know?
How do we know? Put us on game, because I know y'all know.
Yeah, squad, put us up. Let's see if they're gonna be quiet.
Oh, right. They've been talking all night.
Where is Abby?
Brandon, exactly.
Crickets.
We wanna know. For your sisters out here, hook us up.
Let us know what's popping. How do we know?
We're gonna say that they're typing.
Okay.
I think it's important to be treated right as a female, no matter in every aspect. Yeah. No comment. So wait.
Come on now. Unless he might got tricks up in his bag. I don't know.
Okay, Brandon has a comment, but
okay, what is it?
Let's see. Keeps going away. Okay, define gentleman as it relates to sex. I consider myself a gentleman, but I'm not just grinding 1 mile per hour.
Oh,
that's real. Okay, so what is a I'm right here. Let's dialogue. So what does a gentleman look like? What does women look for? And for my sisters out here, y'all help me out. What do we look for in regards to a gentleman sexually? Is it just making sure that you're treating our bodies with respect, whatever that means for the person, or maybe certain word? I don't know. I think it does depend on each person. So I think the question about what does a gentleman mean is a great question.
Yeah, I think what gentleman could mean different things to other people, because some people could say, oh, he's clean cut, looks good, he has proper manners, he does this and he does that, and he treats you like he would treat his mother, and then people go automatically, boom, that's considered a gentleman. But then you can have someone who wears baggy jeans or the bow tattoos or whatever their preference of how they choose to look can also be just as much as a gentleman. Right. So it just kind of depends.
And in regards to sex or sexual intimacy, making sure you get yours before I do.
Oh, he's saying like what
does that mean? Yeah. John says making sure you get yours before I do.
Okay.
Okay. I'm done with you guys. I had a thought and it just like went out the left window. I guess it also depends on if they're dating or if it's like a one night stand, or if it's like somebody that's not consistent, because you would hope someone that you're in a relationship with is more caring and sensitive to the emotional side of sex. Because there's an emotional side. There's a very sensual side and a very spiritual side to it. But if someone is maybe not in a committed relationship with you and it's just casual sex or whatever the case may be, they may not have that sense of sensitivity. They may or they may not. I'm not sure.
Right. We got in some comments. Okay. Tonda said, finding your match, and he takes care of your body. Okay. And then Jackie says, as a gentleman, I suppose to make sure I do what's need to be done. So you arrive first, second, and third, then get mine.
Okay. So going back to like which we're gonna talk about later, I guess he's talking about orgasm.
Oh, okay, yeah. And then so he said, taking my time and making sure you get a couple before I do. Okay. Okay. Look at men put women first.
They can't do. They talk. You know, we came for them.
We thought y'all was high.
That's good. I hope y'all not just saying what saying it because it sounds.
Where's that be at?
Ghost somewhere sipping tea. Ooh, Brandon's comment's long. Can you read it?
Okay. So Brandon says, it's a combination of multiple things. Definitely putting focus on female, taking time and not rushing it. The conversation leading up to it. Foreplay, where is it at? And if a man, let me see the last sentence. If a man, hold up. Come on, phone. Can you read it?
Let's see.
If a man, the last part.
Oh, wait. Okay, we'll get it done. Hold on. Oh, and if a man tell you he don't eat, then go the other way.
Oh, yikes. Okay, men's is out here taking care of women. All right, guys. Hope y'all got some significant others. Ladies, if you single on this thing, we got men's out here trying.
This was not supposed to be a dating connection thing, but if you find your husband through Ask the Shark Thursdays, you're welcome. You're welcome. You are welcome.
They trying to put y'all first.
Yeah, we have viewers from all states and even all countries, so you might find your man, you might find your girl.
Man, look at God.
Look at him, word. You don't even need Tinder.
What? On the live.
Okay. That's a good one. Good discussion. Keeping it 100. No, I appreciate it because, again, like we said in the beginning, people are doing it, so we might as well have the conversation.
And talk about it.
Yeah, we might as well talk about it because it's happening, especially for my believers, one time for all the Christians out here and people that are in that faith. It's happening in the church as well. So we need to talk about it. We can't continue to overlook it. Things are happening. People are moving. People are getting pregnant. People getting all these things. So we need to talk about it.
That's right. I think I have another comment.
Okay.
You just said there's a spiritual side if you're married. Otherwise, you're just having fun. Also, being a gentleman in bed means different things to different people, I think.
Yes.
My thing keeps sliding up. Sorry.
Okay. And then she said it depends on what she prefers and what he can do. Tashara gonna host somebody's wedding. Yes, I host weddings, y'all already do. Shout out to Leanna, shameless plug. I do host weddings. I am a host. So if you need me, you can email beingaVoice3@gmail.com and I will be putting it in the comments later.
Okay.
Y'all
can find partners out here. Y'all can find hosts. You doing all kind of things.
We out here. On Ask the Shark Thursday season finale. We're going out with a bang, y'all. Okay, next question. This is a true or false question. Men are less attached after sex than women. True or false?
I am going less attached. I'm going to say false from my experience, but I think it just kind of depends. I think the notation or the what do you call it? Stereotype is that women catch feelings easily and men can just hit it and quit it and not have any feelings attached to it, and I don't think that's true. I think that there are some men out there who catch feelings as well. So my thought on that is going to be false, and I think also too it just kind of depends on that man, because you can't just say, oh, the girl gonna be the one with the influence. Who that?
Don't say it out loud. Wow.
Hey, friend.
Wow.
But yeah, what's y'all thoughts on that? Y'all think men just, walking away with no kind of feelings?
Wow, John and Tyra say true. Jackie say false. depends on the male or female. It could be both ways. I agree. I think it's false. I think it does depend, but I would say false because I think that's a stereotype. Like that's the narrative that we hear. Oh, men are they are
all cocky. I got it.
yeah, they are projectors, so they're the ones that are doing the implanting, and women are receptors. We are the ones that are receiving, so we are the ones that are always emotional. But there are women out here that are just as ruthless.
Oh yes, sis.
And
cut it.
you know they want partners, and they don't consider themselves promiscuous. They choose their sexual how much sex they want, and they're cool with it, and they're not looking for a long-term relationship.
And they're willing to walk away.
Yeah. So it just depends.
So, yeah, what y'all say? What y'all say?
Good food, I'm catching feelings. So wow. If she can cook.
Oh, she can cook.
My.
That's what I said. So there's a lot of factors that go into men ain't just gonna walk away.
Yeah, it's true. Hey, Stefan, welcome. Maria, hey, welcome. Okay, good stuff. Let's see. How important is personal pleasure in intercourse? I think we talked a little bit about it, but how important is personal pleasure? So if you're a male, how important is your pleasure? If you're a female, how important is your pleasure?
I think it's very important because just speaking from personal experience, it kind of takes you to a different place. And it's kind of hard to explain, but to me, I guess the best way I can say is I think it's truly important, and if you want to reach that expectation or that spot or whatever, I think having that pleasure from your partner or whomever it is that you're having sex with is important. So what do you guys think? Is that pleasure important?
Is personal pleasure important? Are you in it for yourself? Are you in it for the other person? Is it a middle ground?
Oh, and then too, I'm not a selfish person, so sometimes it may be a point where I feel like I can't get where I want to be. Not saying it isn't coming, but I want to also make sure too that my partner is getting what they need too. So it's important to me, but it's also important that my partner walks away with feeling good too. So I want to add that in.
Okay. Any comments on that? I know some of you guys kind of mentioned it earlier, so.
Yeah, what's y'all pleasure? Let's see.
John says, I'm a giver, so I need to make sure she's enjoying herself before I can enjoy myself. Okay. So it's important, but it's not top priority for you. Gotcha. I'm going to go to the next question. If we have more comments, then I'll read them. When a person blacks out from intoxication, they do what? A, have difficulty walking. B, have difficulty talking. C, have difficulty standing. D, have impaired judgment. E, have impaired vision. Or G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Yeah, wow. G, all of the above.
I'm gonna say all the above. I think they're able
above.
to do pretty much anything.
Yeah, it's all the above. So when someone blacks out from intoxication, which shout out to all my friends because that has happened to me, my 21st birthday. But yeah, all that happens. Good times, yeah. But be safe because blacking out is scary, and it's actually F, not G. I know my letters, guys.
He said giver.
Yeah, John and I agree. I'm a giver. I just hope she can take what I be giving, so I take my time. Okay. All right. Next question. If a friend blacked out from drinking, what should you do? Yeah, all of the above. And this one is a multiple choice question. If a friend blacked out from drinking, what should you do? A, give them Gatorade to sober up. B, put them in the shower to wake them up. C, put them on their side and call 911. D, put them in their bed and let them sleep it off.
Ooh.
So there's only one correct answer in regards to what the medical thing you should do or what the real thing you should do is. So A, give them Gatorade to sober up. B, put them in the shower to wake them up. C, put them on their side and call 911. D, put them in their bed and let them sleep it off.
I would say between B and C.
Okay.
But then if they're a heavier person, like how do you like, or should you put them in showers? They're gonna drown them. So I'm not kind of sure about that part. But then putting them on the side and calling 911. But I guess maybe 911 if they're not responsive.
Okay.
So I guess I'll push 911 if it's a black eye and you just can't get them
to respond. Or there's no
I
pulse.
will do that.
Okay, before I give what the answer is, Claude, so C, let them rest, of course. Okay. From my experience, D, which was, what was D I said? D was, put them in bed and let them sleep it off. Put them in bed and let them sleep it off. Give them water. So the actual answer is to put them on their side and call 911. And the reason is, most people, and one of the reasons why I really wanted to put this question in there, because most people do the others. They give them fluids, which you shouldn't do because they can have acid. They can get reflux and choke and choke on their own vomit if in case they vomit. You don't want to put them in the shower because if they're that intoxicated, they're at risk of injuring themselves, whether it's falling or something like that.
Right.
And you don't want to have them sleep it off, especially if they're laying on their back or on their face, because again, if they throw up, they can choke. So the proper thing is, even if you don't want to call 911 because they have a pulse, put them on their side and do not leave them alone. Put them on their side, so if they throw up, they're able to throw up because they can't. You don't have your reaction is slow, so your impulse is slow. You're not able to realize, oh, I have to vomit. So you put them on their side, they're able to throw up on their side. But if they are unconscious, if they have no pulse, put them on their side and call 911.
Okay, not bad, because this is technically a blackout and not a person being just drunk and
if it's exactly, if it's a complete, the person is blacked out, and then once you come to, like, there's some resources that I'll put in regards to blacking out, but like you lose, once you get to that level of intoxication, it's a certain percentage. You will not remember what happened after that point. You'll remember what happened before, which I experienced it. I blacked out on my 21st birthday. My friends, they gave it to me. I enjoyed myself. That was lit.
We was lit, guys.
And that's what they did. They gave me fluids. They didn't leave me alone though. I went to sleep, but they did not leave me alone. But yeah, it was fun. But yeah, guys, don't leave your friends that blacked out alone. Or if you see somebody blacked out on the side of the road, I know sometimes we want to be like, not my monkey, not my circus, but that person can die. So if you either call 911 or if you're able to assist them and there's not a safety issue, put them on their side.
Right.
Because you don't want them to suffer a loss. Okay, there's no other comments. I'm done with my questions. Tara, did you have any questions that you want to ask them? We'll open up the floor. Do you have any questions for us or for the group?
Yeah. Maybe like when people start asking questions, we can kind of like throw them out there.
Okay.
I guess.
Any questions? We'll probably go to like 9:30. We'll do 7 more minutes, 9:30. So any questions? If you have a question in regards to drugs, alcohol, or sex, please post them and we will ask them aloud. You guys have been great today with participation. I'm very pleased.
Like, cool. Like,
very, very pleased.
Good answers. Good convo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of a good question. Think. Come on, guys. Help us out with questions.
Hey, Annalise. Welcome.
Ooh. Look at Annalise.
Any last questions? I do have some announcements and that I'm going to do at the end, but any questions?
Okay, let me see if I have some ones that is actually. So I have a question. I had some of my female friends ask about going to the gynecologist. And guys, I mean, you can put your input in on this, but this is kind of goes out to the females. Like, are you guys going to the gynecologist and getting yearly annual checkups? These things are very, very important, and I've known that. I've given recommendations of my gynecologist to a couple of my friends before, and to know that they haven't gone. And it's just like, well, hey, you know, you're being active and you're not going. Like, it's truly important that you do go if you're planning to be sexually active. So I just wanted to put that out there in the atmosphere. But I wanted to see, like, you know, are you guys out there going, getting your breast exams and things of that nature? So I think that's important.
Yeah, that's a good comment. That's a good point. Just taking, again, holistic health. So if you bad enough and you grown enough to do that, and you bad enough and you grown enough to go make sure you're good, type deal. So going to see your gynecologist if you're active, getting annual pap smears. For men, going to see your PCP, your primary care physician, getting tested, making sure that everything is cool. Whatever exams y'all have to go through. I'm not well versed in any of the male sexual health stuff, but just making sure that you're cool and everything's good on your end. And even some like catching things like beforehand, like if you were to be committed to someone and then you're having fertility issues and things like that. So like, you know, it's just important to be able to go to a medical provider and ask those questions that you may not feel comfortable asking a friend or a family member. You just need that third party trusted source. So that is important. John, I don't see any comments about that. John had a question about protection. Is there at any point should you stop using protection with your partners?
Ooh, that's a good question. Well, generally, I'm going to say that you should always use protection with your partner. But I think there's points in life where people feel like, hey, this is someone I plan to spend the rest of my life with. This is gonna be my, you know, husband, quote unquote. I'm not having sex with anyone else, and I trust them, they trust me, and so we're gonna take this route of not using protection. But that also comes with risks.
Yeah.
So it just kind of depends on your personal preference. But I would say everyone should be practicing safe sex and using condoms. There's female and male ones out there.
Yeah.
And other different things you can, I guess, like pills and
birth control
and all that good stuff. Just take precautions if you're gonna go in raw. There we go.
Yeah. No matter the trust, I mean, it's tough, and I guess it really does depend on the person, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Nowadays, I was listening to Kevin Hart's Sirius XM radio, and there was like, they do a live segment, and I don't know the comedian's name, but they were talking about relationships and like 2018 and things like that, and she was saying how she has zero expectation in regards to guys that she isn't involved with. And she's like, you know, whatever happens, et cetera, et cetera. And with that mindset, like, it's better to just be safe than sorry, because people are ruthless in today's culture. Like, people are very ruthless. So I would just err on the side of caution for sure, and then just be communicative with your mate at all times.
Yeah, that communication. Say, hey, are you willing to do this with me? And if you are, then do what you gotta do.
Exactly. So Brandon asked a very interesting question in regards to sex and spirituality. He asks, what happens between two people from a spiritual perspective when they have sex? I'll have you answer first, and then I'll go with my thoughts.
My spiritual perspective.
Or do you believe it's a spiritual encounter?
I think that spiritual part taps in when you get married. I think people feel like when you're doing it with the person, there's just that connection, and they may assume it's a spiritual connection, but I don't think God blesses you with that spiritual connection until you have gone to the altar and said your vows, and, you know, in front of, you know, him or whatever the case may be, and set that tone for, hey, this is the person I plan to spend my life with. Please bless our marriage. And I think at that point the spiritual level will hit. But I think sometimes people attach like feelings and emotions and stuff with, oh, this is my spiritual partner. I mean, you can't. I think it's been this, guys, is just
your perspective. Yeah.
This is my perspective, my opinion. But you may get that vibe that like I think this is the person I want to be, and that could be a spiritual sense. But I don't know about like the spiritual sense and interaction through sex.
Okay. So for me, I do believe it's a spiritual connection. The act, no matter who it's with, I do believe that there are soul ties, which just means that when you interact with people sexually, that there's a piece of you that's literally, you can literally see it from a literal perspective, a piece of you that's into that person, and there's an exchange. I do believe that sex in general is a spiritual interaction. Not saying spiritual meaning like God blesses it, but just means it's beyond it's beyond physical. So yeah, there are soul ties. You have people that can't get over other people because they've intertwined sexually.
Mm-hmm. And that could be a spirit too.
So so that's my response. And if anybody has responses about what they feel like spiritually happens, but for me, I feel as though when you are sexually active with someone, there's an exchange that happens, and you create a soul tie. Whether it's your lifelong partner or husband or wife, or if it's somebody that's a one night stand. And I know a lot of people from a spiritual perspective that denounce soul ties from ex-partners once they get married, so that it's like a clean slate. So it just depends on depends on where you are spiritually, what your beliefs are. Personally, I do believe it's a spiritual thing, and so for me, I would not want to have sex with every and anyone, because I do believe it's a spiritual thing. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. Brandon, did you have any thoughts on, or what's your thoughts on that question, since it's your question?
Yeah. Oh, and before he answers, Annalise answered my question. She had said after I had my son, I didn't go for 2 years, but now I'm going regularly again. So
good job.
Very good, Annalise.
Awesome. And her son is adorable.
He's so cute.
Hey, Thomasino, welcome. Welcome. In the meantime, while we're waiting on Brandon, does anybody have any questions? Hey, Unaline, welcome back. Anybody has any last questions before we end?
Oh, I got another one.
Okay.
Real quick. Does sex build your self-confidence? For me, I would say yes, because it's like, I think it gives you that extra like spunk and sex appeal for yourself, makes you feel good about yourself, like especially if you felt like you've made your partner feel good. So it gives me this like, oh, girl, I know I'm the bomb type of thing, kind of concept. But I think it does build a sense of self-confidence in an aspect, but it's not something that I need to build self-confidence.
Okay. What are your thoughts? Do you feel good about yourself after having sex and pleasing your mate, or what are your thoughts? I'll go. I was actually having a conversation earlier today with a friend about womanhood and confidence, just confidence and insecurities as a woman. And like, if I basically had said this question. I was like, have you ever felt pressure to be perfect? I asked several of my female friends this question. Have you ever had felt pressure to be a perfect woman, and whatever that means for you? So we were dialoguing about it and just talking about the whole sex and confidence thing. I think a lot of people in our society associate, like, if you're pleasing your mate, whoever the man is, that adds to your womanhood. So that can make some women feel better as a woman, to know that they are doing their job,
right.
You will. So I can see how some people may have increased level of confidence after that.
Okay. I think Brandon responded at the bottom. He put depends on if you are good or bad. If you brought and laid.
If you brought it and laid it down.
Yes, and then if you was whack, then no.
Yeah. And that happens with every aspect of our lives. If we perform well in sports or in a work assignment or in a speech or in our sexual activities, then we feel good. And if we feel like we've done a poor job, or if someone else makes us feel like that and projects that on us, then we feel terrible. So yeah, I can see how that happens in sex as well.
Okay.
Cool stuff.
I couldn't think of any more.
No more questions?
I don't know if anybody else has any more questions.
Very quiet now, but okay, that's good. I hope this was beneficial for you guys, and I do.
Fun.
And then had fun. And again, everybody's doing it, so we might as well talk about it, right?
Right.
So a couple things that I want to say. Again, this is my season 3 finale, so thank you to everybody. Tyra, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and Lens, thank you so much for joining and sharing your talent with our platform. Yes. For all of my guests throughout this season, I send a huge thank you, because the show would not be successful without you. And to my viewers, thank you so much, because again, even with my guests, if we don't have the viewers, it doesn't matter. So you guys are really the best, and shout out to all my faithful ones. You guys are the real MVPs. Please follow me on Instagram for more creative things from me, whether it's a season 4 of this show, something of the like, or other initiatives that I'm working on. And my Instagram name is Khadijah's Creations, and I'll post that in a second. If you have an idea for a digital show, or you'd like to partner with me, Khadijah's Creation is my brand, then you can email me at beingavoice3@gmail.com. And again, I'll post that as well. If you have a topic or a guest that you would like me to interview in the future, you can also email that to me as well. So now I'm going to post just a couple resources. So I have a resource from the CDC about sex health and education. I also have a drug and alcohol resource, the National Suicide Prevention Line, and the National Domestic Violence Hotline. We didn't talk about DV, domestic violence, but it is sometimes it's associated with sex, and a lot of people are sexually abused and things like that, which is a very serious thing, and I don't want to make light of it. So I do want to have that resource for those who may need it. So let me just post that. Tyra, do you have any comments or anything you want to share?
I just wanted to say thank you for having me. Yes. I really enjoyed it. I was super excited to be here tonight and to participate in such an important conversation about these topics. I think casually as friends we may discuss it with one another or in group settings, but they don't go as deep as some of the questions that we provided that were provided for us tonight. And I think it is important that we do have these discussions, and we have platforms like Ask the Child Thursdays that brings up the conversation, and we need to be more transparent and more real out there, because sometimes you may find someone who is quiet and who is shy and they aren't able to share their experiences, but if you bring it up, then they're like, oh my God, I feel the same way she feels. And then they feel a little bit more comfortable, and they think, okay, I can speak up and I can say something, and that has to go along with anything. Or abuse, for example, that Tashara did touch on. We didn't really touch on that too much tonight, but I'm pretty sure maybe in her season 4, she'll have a topic more on abuse, because it is very important. The whole Me Too, everything, those things are happening in the world, and we can't pretend as if they're not happening. So I just wanted to say I had a good time. Yeah, overall I had a good time. Got to see some friends, meet new people in the comments, laugh and joke, and I think this was really good, and that we should have more conversation. It doesn't technically have to be specifically surrounded around our age group and millennials or whatever, but just questions in general to talk about it. Yeah, because we're not talking about it enough. So yeah,
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. So again, thank you guys so much. The resources have been posted. I tried to pin it, but it's not letting me be great. But it is there. So there's a national hotline for suicide. If you do feel suicidal, please give this phone call, this number a call. They're able to assist you 24/7. You can talk to someone, and no matter where you are in the U.S. If you live locally, I'm based out of Fort Myers, Florida. If you live locally and you want some resources for substance abuse assistance or mental health services, or even like maybe clinics that serve people that don't have insurance that want to get checked out, whatever it is, whatever service you need, I'm a social worker, I'm very resourceful. Please DM me and I'll partner with you to get you what you need. As well as if you live in Broward County, on the east coast of Florida, I'm very well versed, and I have a lot of social workers friends, and Holly, hey, one of my social work colleagues that can help you out as well. So thanks again, guys. See you when I see you, and I hope you've learned something, and I hope you stay connected with me through Instagram and through Facebook. See you next time. Bye.